Alright guys, in this video I'm going to explain useful math-related functions in C++. Let's start by declaring our variables first. This will be of the double data type, double x, and I'll set this equal to 3. Double y, I'll set this equal to 4. Then double z, we declare but never assign value. We will set z equal to the first math-related function, and that is the max function. So type standard max function, then I'll set up parentheses. So the max function will return the maximum value between two values or variables. I'll compare x and y, so there are two arguments that you have to add here. Alright, so in the end, we will display standard output. I'll display z. That's the result. Then I should probably add a new line character. New line. And let's run this. We get 4. So the maximum value between 3 and 4 is, of course, 4. Okay, so the next function is the min function. So in this example, I'll set z equal to standard min function, and we'll again pass in x and y. So the min function will determine the minimum value of two values or variables. So if I display standard output, I'll add a new line, and let's run this. The minimum value between 3 and 4 is, of course, 3. And it is doing what we expected. Now the next function is the power function. So type pow, but you see that here identifier pow is undefined. So there's another head file that we could include cmath. Well, this is a really complicated head file. It has 1,898 lines of code. And if you look at a list of all of the things I know here, cmath is a head file which will allow us to use the square root function and the pow function. It is also a really complicated head file. It has 1,898 lines of code. In VS Code, it's 1,898 lines code. If you're using dev C++ or other, it is not. Alright, so we'll raise x to the power of y. So the first variable is the base. Then the second variable is the power that you want to raise to. So x to the power of y, 3 to the power of 4 is of course 81. So I'll display z. And let's run this. 3 to the power of 4 is of course 81. Now if you have the pow function, you of course have the square root function. So we'll set z equal to the square root. So square root, type sqrt for square root. So we will pass in the y variable. So the square root of y is of course 2. And let's display that. Standard output say new line. Then let's run this. The square root of 4 is of course 2. Yep, we see 2. Now, the next math-related function is the absolute value function. So we'll set z equal to the absolute value. So short for ABS. Then we'll pass in -3. So if you pass in a negative number to the absolute value, well, that value is unchanged. It's still a positive value. It's just unchanged as a positive number. So let's display that. Standard output, new line, run this program. Well, of course you will get 3. And that is the absolute value function. So the next function is the round function. So the round function, of course, will round a number or a value or a variable. So we'll type round and we'll pass in. So we will declare another variable double A, and we'll set this equal to 3.14. And let's round A. And at the end of our program, we will display standard output Z. Then let's run this. Of course, we will get 3 because 3.14 rounded to 3 rounded is of course 3. But if you say that A is 3.75 right now, well, if you round it, you will get 4 because 7 is closer to 10, so it will be carried 1 to the 3, and of course he get 4. Okay, so let's change it back to 1.4. And of course, we have the ceiling function. So type ceil for short for ceiling. And we'll take the ceiling of maybe the 3.14. But if you say that it is 3.14 and you display that, well, the ceiling function will always round up. And of course, you will get 4 here because it will always round up. Waiting for it. And yes, we have 4 because it is always rounded upwards. And now we also have the floor function. So we'll set z equal to the floor. Let's say the floor of 3.99. And let's display that. Standard output Z new line. And we will get 3 because it will always round down. Yes, we get just like this. And if you change x back to 3, and if you run this program and make this into x and x, well, if you take in the whole number, what will happen? Well, it will just become 3 because if you neither round it up or round down, it will always be 3. Well, there are also many more cmath functions, but here's a few that is very popular. If you like a copy of all of this code, I'll post this in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, make sure by smashing that like button, leave a random comment down below, and subscribe me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!